Hello out there. This is Cross Cultural Experience, and my name is Uche Onyebadi. As usual, I'm very excited to welcome you to this program or to this forum, wherever you are on this planet. And it's also my pleasure to welcome a very brilliant, intelligent, and a lady who laughs a lot. She's called Maria. Maria, you're welcome.
Thank you, Uche. That's very nice introduction.
All right, you introduce yourself to people are watching all over the world.
Absolutely. My name is Maria de Moya. I am originally from the Dominican Republic, and currently I live in Knoxville, Tennessee, where I am an associate professor of public relations in the TAVERAS School of Advertising and Public Relations.
I was in Dominican Republic, and one of the things I enjoyed in Santo Domingo, I think I got
Yes,
it right. Hey, at night, we just went out. People were having a good time on the streets, and
in
we
any
were just
corner.
dancing. We were just dancing away the night.
Yeah. Yeah. So Santo Domingo is my home city. That's where I was born and raised. It's the
Okay.
capital city of the Dominican Republic. And anywhere you can play music, you can have a party. That is the Dominican way. And I love that
That
about my culture.
that's what we were doing. We were moving street to street, and then
Love it.
I'm I'm sure if our students saw us, they would say, "Hey, professor, what's going on here?"
I think they would join in. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Dominicans are we are very friendly, very open people. And if you enjoy our music, then we love you even more.
Oh, the music was fantastic. We were there, old people, young people, everybody dancing. All right, before we go into your experience wherever you have traveled, I'd like to tell everybody who is watching, as I normally do, that if you want to be part of this conversation, just get in touch with me, cross-cultural experiences at gmail.com. Cross-cultural experiences at gmail.com. I'll get back to you and then we take it from there. Don't forget the S, cross-cultural experiences. All right, over to you.
Okay, so I've had a few cross-cultural experiences. Like I mentioned, I'm from the Dominican Republic, and I immigrated as an adult. So that means that all of my culture was in my home country where I don't
Yeah.
stand out, right? The typical person, and I haven't had a lot of opportunities to travel until I moved to the States. Because traveling from the Dominican Republic, especially when I was growing up, was very expensive. So
Oh,
I want to tell you about my first and so far only trip to Taiwan, to Taipei,
oh,
because
oh,
it was
okay.
probably one of the most unique experiences I've ever had. And it was a wonderful experience. And I had a couple of, hiccups, like anybody who's in a new culture, right?
Right, 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 right. I love to go to Taiwan. I've never been there.
Oh my goodness. I loved it so much. It was 2019, and I
Mm.
planned to go on 2020, and then COVID ruined
Said
it for
no.
me. Yeah. So I was invited by my colleague from DePaul University, Kelly Chu. Kelly is Taiwanese, and she was
Yeah.
doing a study abroad, and she invited me along. And I said, when am I going to have this opportunity? Yes, like
Yeah.
100% yes. So it was the first time I ever spent 12 hours on the plane, and that's a whole other thing. But it was so one of the first times where I could not make out any of the language, right?
Oh,
So as a native Spanish speaker, I am very spoiled because speaking Spanish and English means that a lot of the world is open to me, right?
yes,
So there's a lot
correct.
of countries that I can visit. And even when it's not my own language, when it's Italian or French, I can understand or read a little bit, right?
It's a
Because we have,
little, yeah.
and of course, not in Taiwanese, not at
Yeah.
all. People were extremely friendly. And I think that's one of the things that I would say surprised me the most. We were so different, meaning
Yeah.
Dominicans and Taiwanese, but it felt like an island culture.
Oh,
Uh, and I
how
loved that.
so? How so?
Well, people greeted you, like you were a friend, and everywhere you would go. They noticed very quickly that I could not speak the language, and
Oh,
they all had different levels of English, but they all did their best to communicate with me and help me figure out everything. Was
yeah.
able to hang out with my friend Kelly a lot of the time, so I was privileged to have a cultural intermediary,
Okay.
which is a luxury that I recommend to everybody. But one of the first things that I that I experienced had to do with a meal that they invited us to. So let me give
Okay.
you the background. We were being hosted by a university, and I am so sorry, I don't remember the name of the
Yeah, it's
university.
okay. That's fine.
They invited us to this beautiful meal. And, Kelly tells me it's this as casual, so I'm dressed okay. So far,
Mm,
so good, right? We come to them, it's in a place, it's like a banquet hall, private room, huge round table, and the beautiful food at the center of the table.
yeah.
I could not describe it. So the majority of the things there I could not recognize. So I could not describe any. There were some dishes that I wouldn't be able to tell you if they were fish or meat or vegetable, but I'm
But
okay.
they all look nice, eh?
They look beautiful.
Okay.
Fresh flowers, fresh fruits, all of that. Okay. The first thing that I noticed as I'm sitting down looking at this beautiful meal, thinking where I'm going to make my first choice,
Yeah.
is that something has shellfish. Okay.
Okay.
I am allergic to shellfish.
Oh.
However, I am not allergic to fish in general,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So I can have fish, but I can't have shrimp.
Sure. Yeah.
To make it easier for my friend, I tell her to tell our hostess that I am allergic to fish
Oh.
because I didn't want to have to give the list. Like, I can't have crab or shrimp, but I can have.
Have ABC, fish. Okay.
Okay, so Shay, that was the biggest mistake in this world. This woman wanted to die because a lot of the food had fish. Okay,
Oh.
so the first thing is I was like, first of all, I lied, right? Right away. I was like, am I gonna admit that I lied, that I
Yeah.
can eat some? I was afraid of them being offended. This led to like a 5-minute conversation between all of the people, the waitress and the soup and the supervisor trying to
Yeah.
figure out which dishes I could eat. And
Oh.
every time the moment past, I kept trying to say, should I mention that? And then I'm like, no, I was too embarrassed because they had already been through so much trouble. So
Oh.
I think that's one of the things that the US culture has spoiled me on is people ask you about allergies and things like that.
Yeah.
So again, like I told you, it felt like island culture. So I knew that turning down food in my culture is not good, right? If you
Correct.
want to
Yeah.
be a good guest, you eat.
Yes.
So
Yes.
after they brought me, I don't even remember what it was, but I know it was delicious. So
Yeah.
I was able to have a wonderful meal. One of the things that my friend did explain to me is that they not only want you to have a good meal, they want you to have a big meal. Okay, so there we had another problem because even though I know I look like a person that enjoys a big meal,
Yeah.
I don't have the physical capacity to have a big meal.
Oh,
My
all
stomach,
right.
like literally, I'm giving you and your viewers more information that they need, but my stomach can physically not handle a big meal, right?
So you went from delicious meal to big meal.
And it was when I tell you, okay, let me give you a comparison. If I were hosting that party here,
Yeah.
it would have been for 50 people, the amount of food.
Gee.
And there it was like 12 people in that dinner.
Oh,
So it looked beautiful, but I also kind of assumed it, and this is gonna sound horrible. And if Kelly ever hears this video, she might either laugh or be very upset with me. But for me, it was more like decoration almost, right? Like
yeah.
they don't really expect we're gonna eat all of this. But then again, the problem was that after I had the food that I could have, it was delicious. I enjoyed it immensely. They kept offering me more food,
More.
and I could not have more food. So I kept trying to turn it down. And then the hostess was concerned that I wasn't enjoying the food, which is why I wasn't having more food. And I tell Kelly, please tell her that I physically cannot have more food, right? So
Yeah.
having that, I think I walked out of that dinner thinking that I was the rudest guest that
Oh,
ever existed because another thing that I did is that when I chose the food that I could have, I had my fill, right? So instead of knowing ahead of time, like be strategic, have a little bit of each thing because they're going to want you to try everything.
aha.
I took two things like I would here. I treated it like a buffet, if that makes
Uh,
sense.
ah.
Picked a couple of things and I'm like, oh, I'm done. Oh, no, 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 no. I was not done.
Uh,
That was the first night. For the rest of our stay,
Yeah.
The people um, did everything that they could to go out of the way to make sure that in every meal there were non-fish options for me. Because
Oh, that's
again, I had
wonderful.
exaggerated, and instead of saying that I am allergic to shellfish, I said I'm allergic to fish. So that was one of the things that I thought, really, you should think more about how you communicate, because I thought I was doing my friend a favor by being like very short, but but I
Mhm.
complicated everybody's life.
And I can imagine Taiwan is an island, so the fish, 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 fish all the time.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Sorry.
oh my goodness. You
So
know,
it was, then we had another one. So then I went with my friend's family.
right.
This time it was not so much embarrassing as it was funny, because I was ready. I would like warn them,
Uh-huh.
warn them I can't have a lot of food. They ordered all these things. And she said, one of the things to be a good host is to offer a lot of things, right? So we were in a restaurant, and I had a little bit of everything, but still I could not have enough. Right. And so then they were making fun of me for not eating and just being very picky. And I laughed along, and it was fine. It was all in good humor. But I felt like I don't know how to be a good guest in this culture. And I think if I had the opportunity to do it again, I honestly don't know what I could do to be able to enjoy a banquet in the way that they expect you to enjoy it, right? Which is kind of like having everything you can, having your
Everything,
cake.
right. You know, what you just told me reminds me of my brother who is a priest, a Catholic priest. So he went somewhere and the host, not just the host family, they had informed other people that, oh, they're having this guest. And you know, every family brought a dish, every family. And when he looked at it, the whole table was full of things to eat. And he
Yeah.
was just like your experience. He was telling me, how am I going to finish all this? But he later realized that the culture is not for you to pounce on the food, but for you to taste each and every one of them, and then they will be happy. They didn't expect you to eat and collapse.
I know, and I guess I never got it. It's one of those things. Another thing that I kind of knew, because this is one of the great things about traveling and being in another culture, is you make assumptions, right? So I
Right.
had heard about Taiwanese culture being very like about being a gracious guest and gracious host, so
Yes.
providing hostess gifts and things like that. So me, influenced by American experience, I had all this swag to give, right? So
Yeah.
all was branded from the university kind of things. The gifts that these people gave me,
The
I got
gifts.
this beautiful
Yeah.
silk handkerchief that I still have. I
Oh.
have a pen with my university's name on it to give back. I felt so awkward because I hadn't planned well enough. I hadn't brought gifts that were nice enough to
Okay.
reciprocate.
Uh-oh.
I will say they never made me feel bad, right? They accepted my token like my freaking keychain,
Yeah.
right? If it were a wonderful gift, but here they're giving me this beautiful packaged
And all
coffee
that stuff. Ah.
and teas and silk, and I am like, I, I didn't plan. I didn't plan for this.
You had your branded pen and
I had my branded pen.
you looked a little bit mean. Huh?
I think I looked a little bit cheap and unpolite, honestly. I think I did. And that I know what I would do now.
Correct, which is very, very important. I had the same similar experience in China. You know, we were going out, my host was, you know, we went out to eat. And then suddenly I saw that she invited two others. And well, that's fine. Do you know what? They came with gifts. I had never met them before. No idea. They came the gifts, and you even had your pens because I
Right.
didn't know I was going to meet people. I didn't have anything.
And for me, so in my culture, we do gifts, of
Yeah,
course. Not as nice, I'm not gonna lie. They
yeah.
were a lot nicer than you can expect in Dominican, at least in my experience with Dominican culture. But reciprocity is kind of important.
It's
And
very, very important. Yes.
I didn't know for them if it was, right? So sometimes you are, when you travel as somebody who works in the United States, you're kind of like assumed or understood to be like an American, and they treat you
R-
like that. Um, and sometimes I would wonder, like, do they think I'm an American and they expect Americans only to have swag? Like, yeah. But I know I'm a Dominican. I know that we try to reciprocate, right?
Reciprocate. Okay.
We
Let me
try to
ask you
be
just
same level.
let me ask you one
Yeah.
question. So all these experiences, what will you, I mean, in a very short sentence, what did you learn from that
First of all, the
Taiwanese
value,
trip? Yeah.
I mean, the value of having a cultural intermediary, because I cannot even imagine how I would have interpreted things without Kelly there.
Okay.
Having somebody who could speak for me, even though most of the people that hosted us spoke English. So the problem wasn't the language there, right?
Yeah,
Um, and I think you have to ask more questions, right? So I should not have made assumptions about the gifts. I should
absolutely.
have told Kelly, tell me
Yes.
specifically, like,
Yeah.
what kind of gift are we talking about? Uh,
Yeah.
I just kind of told her, I'm gonna get some gifts, and she's like, oh yeah, that's wonderful, right? And I understand because I'm sure she didn't want to tell me, oh no, spend some money on it, right? But I would have felt better if I would have put more thought into it. Maybe give something of my culture, because
Right.
that's another thing. Every gift had some story, right? So
Okay.
was a type of stitching in the handkerchief that was very typical of that region, right? So that kind
Okay.
of thing. And I'm like, holy cow, I have a generic pen. Like, what can I talk to you about? But I would love to talk to you about Dominican culture, Dominican coffee, right? If I would have thought
Yeah.
about that, I would have brought something from my culture. Um,
Oh,
I think that ask like very specific questions um, is one thing that I would do differently.
differently if you had a chance to go there again.
Absolutely, 100%. Ask
Oh,
very specific questions about, you know, etiquette, um, culture. So I am dress etiquette for Americans, I think is something that they really should ask about, because Americans have like three big categories, right? They have informal, business, and formal.
right.
In my country, we have like 17. Anything from picnic to gala.
Uh,
And when we say gala, we
yeah,
mean Oscars.
I know. I can imagine.
So for me, when I went to Taiwan, I think they are also a little more similar to Dominican culture.
Okay.
I was able to read that, right? I was able to read this kind of business is not jeans and a jacket,
It's not
or it's not, this kind of business is like nice suit
right,
kind of
right.
business. So I think that that's another thing that we have to think about. So the etiquette in general, and just know that your starting point, right? Because I
Right.
think, like I said, I think I had an advantage because of the Dominican culture. I already had that. I was used to different levels of formality. But I think that if you come from a culture in the US where there isn't that much, you might want to be more specific. You might want to
Most.
ask.
All right. One of my students, long time, she's from the somewhere in the east. I don't know, one of the Eastern Bloc in those days. So
Mhm.
she was telling me about her first experience in school. So going to school, she was really dressed up. And then coming to classroom, she was just looking around. Everybody came in bathroom slippers, some tiny little thing in America. So, and people were asking her, what's going on? She said, I should be asking you, why are you
Exactly.
dressed?
Yeah, people are asking her where she's going when she
Yeah,
should be asking, why are you in pajamas? Yes.
why are you like that coming
Yeah.
to class?
And I've been in the US since 2007.
Yeah,
So I've come to enjoy that level of informality. I'm gonna be honest.
informality, okay.
I love that I can go with sneakers to
Yeah.
teach. But when I used to teach in my country, oh no way. I
No
dressed like
way.
I was going to like a bank, very formally.
All right.
I remember my father always dressing in suits. He was a professor in my country. And I
Uh-huh.
remember him going to work in suits every single day.
Okay, all right. Well, that is a good place or a good place to end this conversation. I'm happy you traveled, you learned something from there,
I
and
did.
you do things differently. Anybody who is watching this and you're planning to go to Taiwan, please learn from Maria's experience. And if you want to be part of this, one more time, the address is crossculturalexperiences@gmail.com. I want to thank you for your time.
You.
And now, when next you go to Taiwan, you know what to do.
I'm gonna get nice gifts.
Okay, thanks again.
Thank you, Risha.